And I'll just, if we're going to talk about streaming, I just want to talk about a couple of other sections of the Tax Act that I'd love the Labor Party to look at, and that's 59-15 and 50 of the Tax Act, that basically says that land councils don't have to pay tax on royalties and native title payments made to them. Section 55, Section 50-50 of the 1997 Income Tax Act, that says universities don't have to pay income tax on the fees that they collect. Now, it's one thing maybe in terms of Australian students, they shouldn't have to collect fees, but when it comes to international students, they should be taxed on the profits they make from international students. Then there's 855, the non-real asset test. Basically, if you're a foreigner and you own shares in a company and you own less than 10% of that company, you don't have to pay any capital gains tax. And the ATO just did a ruling a couple of years ago. They have applied that also to water rights, because the name of that title is non-real assets portfolio test, and if you've got a portfolio interest, i.e. less than 10%, foreigners don't have to pay capital gains tax. That's not right. Another little good one is Section 25-90, where you can claim an interest expense against non-assessable, non-exempt income. So, for example, my old employer, Westfield, when they built those big shopping centres in London, we lent the money, Westfield in Australia lent the money through Ireland into the UK, and the income that those shopping centres made were assessable in the UK, as they should have been, but the interest tax deduction was actually offset against our Australian business here, and that meant they paid less tax here in Australia, and that's not the right thing to happen either. And the last one, of course, is 128B of the 1936 Tax Act Public Offer Test, and of course that was the whole reason why when I actually was sitting at Sydney Law School doing my Masters of Tax, that was the reason when I decided I needed to run for politics, because that effectively says that if banks, foreign banks lend money into Australia through the primary market, which to be in the primary market you've got to have a financial securities licence, minimum parcel, I think it's $500,000 or $1 million, you don't have to pay withholding tax. And I think it's totally wrong that our pensioners or anyone that earns interest income here in Australia has to pay tax on that income, but yet we give foreign banks a break. They don't have to pay any tax on the interest we pay them offshore. And we need to get rid of that, because we don't have a corporate bond market here in Australia. We've got $3 trillion in superannuation. If you want to tap capital, tap domestic equity rather than foreign debt. Thank you, Chair.
Authorised G. Rennick, LNP Chermside.